We are live on YouTube. Over to you, Hiroshi.
はい、本日は SIUK のウェビナーにお越しいただきましてありがとうございます。本日のウェビナーはですね、ユニバーシティカレッジバーミンガムの担当者の方に来ていただいて、キャリアに焦点を当てた職業学位を取得しましょうというテーマでお話をしていただきます。それでは今からお話をしていただきたいと思います。Could you please start your presentation? Thank you.
Okay. 皆さん、こんにちは。My name is Winston, and I'm actually doing the presentation. And with me today, I have Mr. PC Ho with me, and he's the manager of the Asia Pacific Regional Office. So, shall we go with it? Now, today, the presentation is a career-focused presentation. It talks about, we are going to go into a bit of the details in culinary art, hospitality, travel and tourism, maybe events. So anything related to hospitality. So let me by starting to bring you on a journey to the world of culinary, hospitality, travel and tourism. Now, this is actually a very big area. Wherever we go, whatever we do in terms of travel, in terms of hospitality, we first needs to go get to a destination. So the first thing that we do is that we will have a look at what's your first impression before you start the trip. So we will get ourselves into an airport. Okay, so at an international airport, you arrive at the international airport, you are about to board the plane. So at the airport, what do you do? Or what do the people that who are working in the aviation industry or in the airport manage? What their roles are? So of course you will have the check-in counters, and with the check-in counters you have for students that who are thinking of going into or getting themselves involved in aviation and airport management type of courses, then they must know that there are many areas. For example, aviation professional practice, then you may have some, of course, the aviation passenger operation, which covers quite a bit on how do you make the flow smooth within an airport, like your check-in counters, how do you manage them? And then in terms of the timing, the scheduling, so all these are the passenger operations that you will need to do. And something that's very interesting is we talk about also, or you will learn about, it's aviation crisis management. So crisis management, it can be anything. It can be, for example, if you go to a place where your flights are canceled. There are many reasons why flights can be canceled. It could be a thunderstorm somewhere, or it could be like the current situation where there's the pandemic, the COVID-19. So not many people traveling, flights are canceled. So how do you manage this kind of crisis? So that is one of the areas that we will look at. And another one is the interesting one is that we talk about aviation pricing and revenue management. Of course, in any business, in any form of business, finance is one of the most important things. So where are you going to make your money from? It's by, of course, securing better aircraft. You have got a good airport. So now, when it comes into things like that, or this type of areas, so I'm very sure most of you know, at a couple of years back, I would say maybe in 2013, for example, or 2014 at the time. One of the biggest things is that every airline wants to have, or if possible, every airline wants to have an Airbus 380 in their fleet. But now, every airline is trying to get rid of their Airbus A380 from their fleet. What's the reason? It's because things have changed, less people traveling, and it's all got to do with revenue. So whether are you making enough money when you are flying such a big aircraft, or is there still a demand in big groups traveling together? So this is something that the revenue management you will learn from if you are joining this course. So airport planning. Airport is not only about checking in, getting passengers ready to board the plane, but then you need to actually provide more services. For example, duty-free shops, airport lounges are all these are very, very important roles in an airport. So how do you plan an airport? So this is some of the areas that you will be studying if you are interested in aviation and airport management. So the next part is that you will arrive once you have departed from a country, you will arrive into another country, and you will need to get yourself checked in a hotel. So you arrive at the hotel, and now for international hospitality management, so this is one of the areas where covers a lot of hospitality management or hotel management for the matter. So in a hotel, there are many, many divisions that if you are interested in hospitality, then you will be learning a lot about these divisions. So basically in a hotel, there are 4 areas that you will go into. Of course, you know that this front office. Then you have the housekeeping, that's the room division. And then you have another one, which is the food and beverage that covers all the bars and the restaurant. And you have another department that is the back office, which you normally don't see them. They are the ones that who will be looking after finance, human resources, and then they will be also looking at the IT system for tourism, for hospitality. So these are the areas that it's actually in the back office. So there are 4 areas within hospitality. So some of the points that I would like to touch on is that, for example, we talk about training and development skills for hospitality manager, because hospitality is an area where you must like dealing with people. Only the career is suitable to you, because it has got to do with a lot of human interaction. You will be dealing with your hotel guests quite a bit in, I would say, every role. Even though when you're working in the restaurant, you're dealing with guests. When you are working in the front office, you are dealing with guests. So even though if you are actually the concierge manager, you are also dealing with guests. So therefore, the human interaction, it's very important. So training and development, it actually gives you the skills to how to become a hospitality a manager for hospitality. So the next one is that we can talk about the room division. The room division is to ensure that the reservation system, and then also the housekeeping, whether how it actually correlate together, how they that make sure that when you check in, the room is available. So all these are some of the areas that that you'll be studying if you're on this course. So F&B covers quite a great deal in terms of food and beverage management. How do you manage a restaurant? How do you manage a bar? And then what? Then of course you have got the gastronomy side that has got to do with food safety, and then what's the gastronomic diet. So that is one of the key things at the moment in hospitality field. So it covers this wide range of areas. So well, you're at a hotel, maybe you'll be invited to some events. So then we look at events. So we look at events management. Events management consists of many, many types of events. So we can talk about a conference is an event, a banquet, a big gala dinner is an event, a concert is an event. So a fashion show is an event. Um, Formula One is an event. And of course, we talk about Olympics. Olympics is an event. So all these are events, and then you need to have a strong management team. So if you are interested in event management, so meaning that you are interested in actually working in these areas of events, then this may be the right course. So how it covers, what it covers is that it's about strategy for meetings and events. So again, it's about what are the strategies that you would build in? What if there is a problem? What is your plan B for your event? Um, for example, if you say that, okay, we may need to, in Japan, for example, initially you thought of having this big event in Tokyo, but then there is a problem with not enough hotels in Tokyo because there's another event, another very, very big event happening in Tokyo. So you want to move the event to Yokohama for that matter. Then what are the strategies that you need to put in place? How do you make sure that everything will go smoothly? So it's actually all about strategies for meetings and events. So event finances is also important. For example, we talk about the moving from Tokyo to Yokohama for an event. So what about the finances? Would it cost more or would it cost less? How do you move people around? And then it has got how much it costs you to move people around. So all this has got to do with, again, finances. How do you make sure that the finance side is stable and you are not making a loss in running an event? So I know a lot of people saying that, yeah, I'm studying event management. Why should I need to know about finance? Finance is vital because you must make sure that you know how much you are spending and how much you are making, or how much can you afford to spend in order not to lose money. So that is the part about the event finances. So I would like to go into another part: festivals and event tourism. Now, event tourism is something that is very, very big. It's actually one of the largest in terms of, if you're talking about holiday makers, they're going to do different things, like maybe they go for skiing, they go to the Alpine to do skiing. Those are tourism, those are adventure tourism. But event tourism can actually bring in a lot of people. For example, the Olympics, take Olympics for example. So for event tourism, Olympics is considered a type of event tourism. Formula One is considered as an event tourism. Those who likes football, your World Cup, it's an event tourism. So all this is about how do you bring in big number of tourists into your country, and in that country, what do? They don't only go for the event, and after that they will be spending another week or a couple of days more to tour the cities around near the venue. So that will bring in a lot of revenue to the country, and it also help businesses in the region or in the country itself. So if event tourism is one of the very, very important things. And festivals is like festivals. There are just many festivals. For example, in Japan, you can talk about the sakura time. It's actually something that will bring in lots and lots of tourists into Japan. So this is again the type of tourism that each country will gain in their own specialty. Okay, now, so we moved on to the next part that we talk about food, all about food. So now, um, gastronomy, food, it's again vital in terms of hospitality and tourism. So for culinary arts management, or maybe you want to, they are bakeries, and they all have the same areas of studies. So you may be looking at the nutritional side of it, then how to be a chef, how to be a good chef. And then at the same time, you may also want to actually look at the dietary trend of what people are consuming and what they shouldn't be consuming, or what they don't really want to eat. So that is the dietary trend that we look at. And food and hygiene and food safety. This is one of the things that is very, very, very important in culinary arts, or even in bakery, or if you want to be a chef. This is just mega important. So the other one, it would be the food production management, and then the food production management would cover not only food for like you do in the it's not only in the factory, but it's about how do you deliver food from one place to another, and then you prepare your food. And let's say, for example, take some of the in Japan. Okay, we talk about Lawson. Okay, Lawson, it's a convenience store where you have lots of ready-made food to consume. So, and all this food will need to be produced in a kitchen. And in this kitchen, from the kitchen to the outlet selling the food will take some time, because the distance, it could be, for example, it will take maybe up to 1 hour or 2 hours to bring from point A to point B. So how do you ensure that the food, the freshness of the food is still there? And then and also because you must also consider the logistic of it. So all these are mega important in terms of when it comes into food production. So, and the other one is that we will, in this line, it's what if you set up your own restaurant, or your own cafe, or your own grocery, that you want to serve cakes, or you want to serve food or coffee. So all this is how you manage a business, how do you manage an F&B outlet. So from the enterprise startup, that is actually very important too. So that's if you want to actually go into that. A lot of hotels now would have F&B managers, and the F&B managers normally will look at the management side of things, like, for example, the menu, costing of menus, and how do you set up your team, your sous chefs, your executive chefs, and then your ladder. So how do you set that up? So normally it's actually done by the F&B manager. So it's all about management of F&B operations. So that would cover all these areas. So the next part is that we go into travel and tourism. Travel and tourism, it's again whatever you do when you are out of your own country, that you want to do a bit of traveling. Travel and tourism will definitely come in place. It's actually, in other words, it's actually an excursion. So where you go. So now, travel and tourism breaks out into a few categories. So we first talk about the two categories. One of them is tourism management, and another one you can call it tourism business management. Now, we talk about tourism management first. The difference is that tourism management is about how you bring people or tourists into a destination. So if you are, let's say, for example, take Japan, for example, if you work for the Japan Travel Bureau, I mean, of course, JTB is to send, they do a lot of outbound tour, but under the government of Japan, they would have a tourism department, and the tourism department is always looking at how do you bring people or tourists or people from other countries coming into Japan to visit Japan, to look at the specialties in Japan. So then you will be looking at this is all tourism destination. For example, Universal Studio in Osaka or Disney in Tokyo. These will attract tourists from other countries coming into your country. So this is how you bring tourists into your country, and then they will spend, and the country will get revenue or will get some finance from financially will be viable because the country will be getting more tourists, and then the tourist dollar will be very strong. So it's actually good for the country. Now, um, for Japan itself, there are many areas that can actually bring in a lot of tourists. For example, because you have very good ski resorts up in Hokkaido, so that you bring in tourists. So you have a lot of attractions like Disney, like Universal Studio. All this will bring in a lot of tourists into your country. Then we look at the other side of it. That's the tourism business management that we want to talk about now. That is about how do you operate a tourism business like a travel agency. So at the travel agency, what do? You need to actually negotiate with airlines for good rates for your tours. You prepare tour itineraries, and then you also prepare hotel bookings and make such travel arrangements. And then how do you work with another travel agent overseas that are taking in inbound? So it's all gelled in within something that is called tourism business. So that is related to tourism. Okay, so we will now go into the next part that is at what is happening at University College Birmingham. I spent about 20 minutes talking about the all the courses and also all the subject areas within the hospitality and event management, tourism management type of area. And at our university, we offer these courses, okay, because we are a specialized institution and we do offer such courses. So let me introduce you to our university, University College Birmingham. Now, University College Birmingham, we can trace back our history back to 1800s. Yeah, we started off as catering school, so we were teaching culinary arts, we were teaching cookeries, we were doing home science back in a few centuries ago. So we were doing all that, and subsequently in 1968, then we become a we officially became a technical college, and then at that time we start offering full courses in hospitality management and in culinary arts. So we are accredited by the University of Birmingham, and University of Birmingham is one of the UK's oldest and most prestigious university. I'm very sure all of you know that. And most of our degrees, whether it's undergraduate or postgraduate, are awarded by the University of Birmingham. Okay, so all these degrees, like we talked about earlier, most of them are actually University of Birmingham's degrees. So the other interesting part is that we work with many hotels in the industry. So our degrees are all, our programs, our courses, they are all designed together with industries. So therefore, the students will benefit from it. It's when you have completed your degree, then when you want to get into those hotels to work, you will be able to move in very smoothly because we are actually getting industry inputs onto our program. So therefore, students will be able to move on. And then that means you are not studying something that is happening 20 years ago, but you are actually studying something that is really current. So this is what we do. So, and we have also invested 130 million pounds in new campus equipments and resources so that the students will benefit from. And all these facilities are of world class. So we work with University of Birmingham, like I said, for the past 25 years. So for our degrees, the degrees when you have completed, the degrees will be exactly like this. And you will see that it's actually a university college. It says University College Birmingham in the middle, just below your name, because the name is actually blurred off. The degree certification is from University of Birmingham. Now, at our university, we are quite a small university, okay? We just have 2 schools, but the school itself, we are all very specialized. So the courses that I talked about earlier, it actually falls within both schools. So it will be in like events and tourism, events management will be within the business department. And then we have the hospitality department and tourism department that covers most of the hospitality and tourism courses. Then Birmingham College of Food covers the bakery and culinary arts courses. Yeah, and then also, of course, at master's level, we have a gastronomic course too. So at postgraduate level, we have aviation management. We have culinary arts, then we have gastronomy and food sustainability. We have global meetings, and then hospitality with tourism. Then we have different types. You see, we have options on some of the courses because, like, let's say, for example, if you do hospitality with tourism management at master's level, we will be able to arrange a placement at the end of the course, not at the end, so it's just before your final project. So you may be able to get into a hotel, or it could be an airline, or it could be a travel agent to work to gain an industrial experience for 6 months, and it's going to be a paid placement. So we can do that for some of the courses. So at undergraduate level, again, it's very similar to what we have been offering at master's, but then this is just one level below. So, and all this, we have aviation, we have bakery, we have culinary arts, events management, hospitality, and tourism too. So these are all the programs that we have here that's related to what the topic of this presentation is all about. Our programs are accredited by University of Birmingham, of course. Then we are endorsed by some very strong partners like Team Scotland. It's the Commonwealth Games, in the UK. And most of our hospitality and culinary programs are accredited by the Institute of Hospitality. And all our tourism programs are accredited by the Institute of Travel and Tourism. So a lot of students, there are students who ask, you know, how different are we from other universities? So our courses are a little different. It's that most of the degrees that you will study, um, we don't do so much of exams or examinations. So most of our modules, at the end of the modules, you will be assessed via structured project-based assignment. So that means it will be mainly assignment that you will be submitting for assessment. You'll be assessed by the assignments that you have submitted. So at the final project, we will allow students to either choose, you may do a dissertation, or you can actually go for the industry-related research project. So industry-related research project can be a business plan. It could be a showcase, really depending on what type of courses that you go for. So this is how different we are. So if you have chosen dissertation, that means it will be the traditional way whereby you'll be required to write 12,000 words for 12 to 15,000 words for the dissertation, depending on the course that you have applied for. Okay, for entry requirements for Japanese students, okay, students who have completed the upper secondary high school leaving certificate will be able to go on to our international foundation diploma. Okay, this is for the foundation diploma. So for those that are doing, those who wants to go straight onto a bachelor's degree or an undergraduate course, if you have taken A levels or if you have taken IB or the International Baccalaureate, or you have studied the foundation before, yes, you can actually go straight onto an undergraduate degree program. For those who are thinking of applying to study a postgraduate or master's program, then the minimum requirement for most of the subjects that is 2-2, and 2-2 it's a classification for any universities that offers honors degree. Or if you have a Japanese degree, then a bachelor's degree, all I need from you is if you're from a recognized university, and then with a minimum of GPA of 2.8 over 4. That's what I need. Okay, so for master's application. So English language requirement, students that are going for the International Foundation Diploma, IELTS requirement will be 5.0 and no individual element below 4.5. So for undergraduate students, those students that who have actually you have a qualification to meet the academic requirement, then if you join us, the requirement will be 6.0 and no element below 5.5. So some of the courses, we do have some courses like physiotherapy and then some other program, they require much higher in terms of the English language requirement, because you are dealing with you will be having some hands-on at some at NHS. So therefore the requirement is higher. So for postgraduate, the requirement basically almost all programs are at 6.0, and then the individual element should not be below 5.5. So for students that, for example, if you think that your English language is not strong enough and you need some help, or you want to go for a professional English course, yes, we do have. So for those students who have taken the UKVI IELTS at 5.0 with no element below 4, you may go for the 10 weeks block. So this block will be from 7th of July to 10th of September, and the fees is £4,200 inclusive of accommodation. So for those students that who just a 0.5 less, that you want to actually just bring it up to 6. So you can actually go for our 6 weeks block, which starts from 2nd of August and ends on 10th of September. The fees is just £2,600 inclusive of accommodation. Now, a lot of students may ask, after this course, do I need to take IELTS again? The answer is no. Okay, so when you have completed this course, you will just need to take the internal test and then we will assess you through. So if you get through, then you will be able to join. But if not, then you may actually go for the intensive English course, which is by semester. So tuition fees, I'll just quickly go through. The foundation is £9,000 a year. And then the undergraduate program, it's £12,500. Postgraduate program, it's £13,500. So for those who are thinking of doing one semester of English, and it's £3,900. And then The other two is the ones that we talked about just now. That's the pre-sessional program. So now for Japanese students, the living cost in the UK is 9,003 because based on the UKVI requirement, UCB, we are actually located outside London. So therefore, the estimation is at £9,300. So I put in the yen by the side, but that is actually totally based on today's average exchange rate. So the foundation program is 9,000, and then the undergraduate is 12,000. So I've mentioned about this. Now, the most important thing is that the estimated total cost per year. So for international diploma students, if you are thinking of going to the UK, overall, you will need to allocate £18,300. So this is per year, and it will work out to be about, in Japanese yen, it will be 2.75 million yen. So an undergraduate will be 3.27 million yen. And then for postgraduate will be 3.42 million yen. Now, this is just for the living cost we talk about is just for general student that it should be sufficient. Okay. Most importantly, you must be able to do some cooking for yourself because I have come across some Japanese students before. If they don't cook, if you dine out every day, then your 1.4 million yen for your living cost won't be sufficient. Okay, so therefore, I would suggest that if you if you don't intend to do your own cooking, the preparation for your your living cost fees needs to be slightly higher. Okay, we at University College Birmingham, like I said earlier, we are quite a small university. So we have about 8,000 students coming in from 65 different countries. So international students, we have about 1,400 international students. So these are just some of the pictures that I will quickly go through. These are the industrial standard kitchens. So these kitchens you will see, it's not very much different from what you would see in a hotel. So the standard is almost the same. Some people may know them. Gordon Ramsay, for example, he uses our facilities quite a bit. So he felt that we are like a Ferrari of a catering college. So that actually proves that the equipments and then the facilities that we have at University College Birmingham is of rather high standard. So for those that do aviation, what we do is that we have a mock cabin, and then we have also mock check-in counters. So therefore, students can actually get a good practice. So for international students, what do? We have the English language training and checking for students. And then at the same time, we have study support center, academic workshops. Then if you have written an assignment, if you need some of our language lecturers to help you to check, then we have a draft assignment feedback too. So student services, we have our own arrangement for accommodation. I'm going to go through that. So we have got a student center that covers to help you with your bank letters, your visa extension, and if you have any of these matters. So we have student counselors. We have the International Student Society. If you're into sports, there are plenty of societies there. And then we have a department called Hired at UCB that will help students look for part-time job and also anything related to employability and careers. So, and nursing service for students who require them, I hope you don't, but then it's available anyway, it's free. So if you need to actually get any advice, medical advice, then you can always go to the nurses. So I'll just go through this fairly quickly. It's our campus. This is the McIntyre House, and then inside the building. So it's rather modern. And then this is the new building that we have. It's the Moss House, just opened about 2 years ago. And then in this is mainly a sports hub. So there are gym, and then because a lot of those students that are studying sport, they are actually based in this because we do a lot of things like strength and conditioning, sports management, fitness, and areas like that. So in this Moss House, we cover quite a bit of sports. So in the university itself, we have training restaurants that are open to public. So you are not only dealing with you are dealing with real customers in these restaurants. So accommodation, we have the Maltings at the moment. So Maltings is a single room en suite accommodation. So 6 bedrooms will share a kitchen, and then so the kitchen is all complete with, it's fully fitted with fridge, freezer, and then kettle, microwave, ovens, and everything is there. So you can make use of them if you are able to cook. So it's a gated community. So that means the whole accommodation is gated. Only students are only able to access. So this is how the room looks like. You have got a single room with a washroom, and the size of it is quite okay. It's about close to 15 meters square, and then the price is about £135 per week. So if you look at it, number 1, number 4, number 5, those are the campus that you will be going to. And then number 7, it's where the accommodation is. Walking wise is about 10 to 15 minutes away. But between the building number 1, number 4, and number 5, the distance is only about 2 minutes, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes maximum. So this is how it looks like on an actual map. You will see the Birmingham New Street Station is in the middle. So the one that labels UCB, 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 those are the 3 main campus that you go into. So Birmingham is a bustling city, yes, it is. So we are located right in the middle of England, and Birmingham is, if you are going on a train from London, it will just take you about 90 minutes. And if you want to go up to Manchester, also it will take you 90 minutes. So we are right in the middle. So this is Birmingham City. So lots of canals. And our graduation every year will be held at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham in the month of September. So this is how it looks like. Okay, I have finished this presentation. I just rush it through. Thank you so much. And I hope if you have any questions, please let SIUK know. Or you can always drop us an email. This is our email address, asia.pacific@ucb.ac.uk. So just send us questions. If you want to know about the course related matters, please email us. But if you want to know about how to apply your visa, how do you go about application, you should actually contact SIUK. They will be able to help you through. Okay, all the best. Thank you so much. So I'm ready to take questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And actually, we have received some questions from YouTube, and then I'm going to read out the questions. So could you answer the questions?
Yes, please.
Yes. And then the first question is, ホスピタリティの学生の卒業、ホスピタリティ学部の卒業生にはどのようなキャリアチャンスがありますかということで、if students graduate from a hospitality, undergraduate degree, what kind of, jobs are they expected to get, like a hotel or what?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I can answer that.
Yeah.
Because hospitality is a big area in terms of in a hotel, for example, like we talk about different departments in a hotel. So hospitality is not only because in American word, okay, the word hospitality actually means service. So it's you if you want to stay back in the hotel, you can work in the hotel, and depending on which division you like most. For example, if you say that, okay, I like F&B, I want to go into the F&B, I can actually go into the banquet side. Some people like the the more of to have more interaction with guests, so they can actually go into the area where the front office is, that you have a lot of or the concierge, that you have a lot of interaction with guests. So, but there are people that who have actually completed the hospitality degree, but they do not want to work in the hotel. Then, because hospitality is all about service, how do you deal with people? You can actually go into any industry. So the answer is it's a very big area. So if you want to stay back in a hotel, it's really depending on which area you want to go into.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is about employment rate. This student is asking, like, if students graduate from a postgraduate degree, what's the employment rate after graduating the postgraduate course? I'm not sure if you can answer this question now.
Actually, I can only tell you one thing. It's based on the statistics in the UK. Students who have graduated, depending on if you have actually studied a postgraduate in hospitality, the employability rate is actually much higher compared to some other industries. But at the moment, it's very difficult to say because of the current pandemic. All the hospitality industries are not doing so well. But if it's in a normal time, the employability is actually very, very high if you have a degree or a postgraduate, a master's degree in hospitality.
Okay, thank you very much. And then next question is about, actually the same person is asking about working visa after graduating postgraduate, but recently I read the news about the UK government changed the visa rule, and then students graduate from the postgraduate, undergraduate, they can get a 2-year working visa, right?
Yes, students can actually, it's actually called a graduate route. And students who have actually, irrelevant whether it's a bachelor's degree or master's degree, as long as you have completed your bachelor's degree or master's degree in the UK, you can actually stay back to look for a job. And then, and that period of time is 2 years. So you can actually, students can actually apply for that.
Okay, thank you very much. And the next person is, has 3 years of working experience in hospitality and then tourism industry. And then for this person, what kind of course would you recommend?
Again, I need to know what is her education background. If she has already done some kind of diploma, then I would suggest that she goes for just to do a top up of for a hospitality degree. Then she can actually, or she wants to move on to a master's. But if she has already got the bachelor's degree, then I suggest that you go straight to the master's.
Okay, thank you. Actually, yeah, this person doesn't mention about their academic background. Yeah, okay. The next question is about English requirements, but actually you already mentioned about that in the presentation. The undergraduate English requirement is 6.0, right?
Yes, 6.0, and then each element should not be below 5.5.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. And then next question is, can students have a kind of a working experience in maybe undergraduate or can students have a part-time job? I think you mentioned about placement is available.
Yes,
Is that
placement is available. Again, it's depending on what program that the student is going for. So let's say, for example, the student is interested in hospitality, then the placement is actually in the middle of the course, because for most of the bachelor's degrees are 3 years course, but then because hospitality there's a placement, it will be a 4-year course. So you will study 1.5 years, then you do a 1-year placement, and then you complete another 1.5 years. So altogether will be a 4-year course. So yes, placement can be arranged. Part-time work, yes, because we have a department that is called UCB Higher. So during your studies, you can actually go to UCB Higher. They will be able to find you some part-time jobs, and the maximum number of hours that you are allowed to work during term time, it's 20 hours per week.
Okay, thank you very much. As for the placement, so all the students will be guaranteed to do the placement?
For hospitality, yes. For hospitality program, yes. And then for culinary arts, yes, you'll be guaranteed placement.
Do they need to take any like interview or something?
They all will have to take interview, because it's like as if that you are going for a real job. So this is actually arranged by the university.
Okay, very much. Okay. Yeah, so actually we don't have any other questions. So
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So maybe we actually had like 10 people from YouTube, and then yeah, if we get any questions from students, we're gonna ask you to answer the questions later. Yeah.
Just drop us an email, and then we will be able to get back to you fairly quickly, because I based in Malaysia, so there is just 1 hour time difference, so it's actually quite easy.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time today.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.